On today's episode, we're going to be talking about blue chip comic investments. Now, if you want to know what that is, stay tuned for the video. You're watching Slab City on the Geek Aficionado YouTube channel. I'd like to ask you to click the thumbs up on this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell while we introduce you to our sponsors.
Slab City is proud to partner with the Comic Rehab. For all your comic book and magazine cleaning and pressing needs, contact the Comic Rehab, where we breathe new life into your old books. And by Inferno comic stores, specializing in vintage and graded comics. Shop the Inferno at www.infernocomicsstores.com.
Now, today we're going to be talking about blue chip comic investments, and I'm going to be showing some of those to you right here on the show. I just got in a submission back from CGC, the Certified Guarantee Company. For those of you who are unfamiliar with them, they're the premier comic book grading company, and we're going to be talking about the books and what makes them valuable, as well as reviewing the grades. So let's take a moment and talk about what a blue chip stock is. Now, blue chip stocks are primarily investments in companies with long-standing reputations for quality and performance. Companies like 3M, who make tape and adhesive products that we use on comics all the time. AbbVie, that makes pharmaceuticals, and the Walt Disney Company, which I don't need to tell anybody who that is. They're also marked as companies that pay dividends, which are quarterly to annual payouts on those shares to the shareholders. A blue chip comic investment is categorized as such because it follows a similar tenet, an investment with a long history of increasing in value. Now, that isn't to say that it won't go down in price at times. All assets have periods of highs and lows, but blue chip ones primarily ride that out higher and stay on the rise in the long run. These are two examples of blue chip investments. The first appearance of the new X-Men team, including Storm and Colossus and Nightcrawler, and also featuring the second appearance of a character who appears in this book, the first appearance of Wolverine. Now, these are books that are highly sought after no matter what. Thus, they become blue chip investments. Now, for comic book investing, these are books that have some key attribute that increases their importance over others. Generally, the debut of a new character, either a hero or a villain, or an event of critical importance. Now that you have a better understanding of the terms, let's look at some books. All right, so these are books that were sent out to CGC on a standard tier. Now, what that means is a book that has a value greater than $400 up to $1,000. Now, these, like I said, these would be considered blue chip books. Now, the reason being is that they have something specific and special about them, but they're also a bit older as well. So some of these are from the Bronze Age as well as the Silver Age. And as you'll see when I show them off, they're pretty special. First one we're going to go with. Now, those of you who have watched my channel before might have seen this book. This is the Fantastic Four number 48 that I picked up at Half Price Books. I didn't clean it, I didn't press it, I didn't do any of that because I knew that it could potentially cause a little bit more damage. And I had kind of a grade estimate of it about a 4.0. I was off a little bit on that, as you'll see here. We can get the tab up. CGC graded it out as a 2.5. Now, why did they grade it out as a 2.5? I'm not entirely certain. But what I can say is that due to factors of this book, I'm not willing to crack it out and press it and do anything like that. On the back of the book, there is some specific damage that you probably won't be able to see from here, but there's some tearing to the back and some what they call significant cover tanning. But needless to say, this is the first appearance of the Silver Surfer and first cameo appearance of Galactus. Now, why is that important? These are two major characters from the Silver Age of Marvel, and the price in this book has been going up considerably. Not that the value of the book wasn't already decently stated, right? And this is a highly sought after book amongst collectors, but it retains its value significantly over time. As I said, this book is now rising in price because there is expectation with upcoming news of a Fantastic Four movie that at some point there would be some appearance by the Silver Surfer and or Galactus to follow suit. But needless to say, it's still a blue chip book regardless of the speculation news from the movie studio. All right, next one up. This is a very highly sought after book amongst Silver Age collectors. This is Wonder Woman number 98. This is the new Silver Age first appearance and origin of Wonder Woman. Now, there is, again, arguments amongst the market, amongst collectors about what qualifies as a first appearance and whether or not a first appearance in a new age makes a difference or not. Well, when they change the origin story of the character to some degree, then it gets reclassified as another first appearance or a new origin. Wonder Woman's first appearance and origin was back in the Golden Age during World War II. So this one is more of her mainstream story that I think most readers and collectors are familiar with. So this book was purchased for $800 from Torpedo Comics with a grade estimate of a 4.0. I did clean this book and press it after that grade evaluation by them, and we got a 3.5. Now, this goes to show you that not everybody's grading is exactly the same, which is why we rely on these companies in order to make these stated facts. Now this book, if I went to sell it today, which I won't, if I sold this book for any reason, right now I could get $1,400 for it. I put in $8, I put in some money for the cleaning and pressing, and I sent it off to CGC and then paid the grading fees for the standard tier, which is, I believe, $65. But now I have a significant increase in value on that book. All right. Here's another one that has some relatively high significance to the Silver Age. This is The Flash, number 105. Now, what's significant about this? It's not the first appearance of Barry Allen as the Flash, but it is the first appearance of one of his rogues, the Mirror Master. On top of that, this is his first issue in his own solo title after appearing 4 times in Showcase Presents by DC. But as this is issue 105, it's not issue number 1, this carries the numbering from the original Golden Age Flash. But nonetheless, it's still a significant book, demands a significant value. I paid $1,000 for this book. I identified it as somewhere in the ballpark of a 4.0, and the actual grade on it after cleaning and pressing is a 3.5. That said, it's still significant. It still retains the value. Did I get a large jump on this? No. But what I do have is I do have a verified grade and value of this book going forward. So no matter what happens, if I do intend to sell this book at some point, or if I want to upgrade, I can get the stated value for this book in the market as it stands. Will that value go up or down? Who's to say? But what I do know is that it's not going to catastrophically plummet to something far below what I paid for it or what its current value is, right? It's destined to go up. Now, one more book to show, and this is one that is very very well loved and respected in the Bronze Age, and let's just say it doesn't need any introduction. Amazing Spider-Man number 129, the first appearance of the Punisher. This book was a crack press and resubmit, and you'll be able to see that on my other series, The Art of CPR. So we won't go into the grade on that. We'll do the big reveal on that one there. But this is a 6.5, right? So it's a solid mid-grade copy of this book. which still commands a significant price point, well in the ballpark, well above $1,000. Well, not well above, but certainly over $1,000 at this stage. Is it a solid investment? It's always a solid investment. This book did take off and then come down a little bit because of the casting in the Netflix show, having his own show after appearing in Daredevil, and then subsequently being canceled by Netflix. So it had a little bit of roller coaster, and then it crested down. But this book will always retain its value. We'll see spikes like that in the marketplace when there's connections to any kind of cinema or something like that. There's more visibility to the character beyond just comic book collectors or people looking to invest in graded books. But because that character appeared in some kind of cinema, it did get more visibility, and thus more people were looking for the book, and the prices went up, specifically in auctions. And then as that popularity and that drive to get that character's first appearance, to get this book, as that went down, the cost, or rather the price went down, especially in the auctions, right? So less people looking for it, the price doesn't climb as high, right? So there's less bidders in the market. But fair to say that any one of these books would be a solid investment and an addition to your portfolio if you're looking to do that. Otherwise, if you're finding the stuff in the wild and you find it raw and you can get it graded, you can certainly turn it for a little bit higher profit, as long as you know what you're paying for and what those margins look like. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.